Hi everyone, welcome to White Noise. My name is Robyn and I am your host today. Um, Little turn of events today. Our feature got COVID, which is super sad. I was literally so excited for you all to hear her because the first time I heard her perform, I'm just saying her as if that's her name. No, her name is Leah Valentine. The first time I heard Leah perform was like a magical experience, and if you watch the podcast you would hear a little more about it, but essentially I was just like, you know what, I have to meet this girl. I have to become her friend because she just had this stage presence that was so commanding. Like the stage was hers and I was so impressed and inspired, especially as someone who's not a musician or songwriter or singer. I was like, wow. But, songwriting is a lot like poetry, so there's a lot of connections there. But don't feel too sad because she's coming back. Like, it's going to happen. It's actually going to happen May 12th, which is a Monday. I know that seems like so long from now, but I mean, as Peter said, what's the difference between today, tomorrow, and yesterday? There's really no difference. It's just a construct. So, guys, it's coming up. Get ready for Monday, May 11th with Leah Valentine. I know I'm super excited. And if you follow us on Instagram at White Noise GK, you will see clips from our podcast that we recorded here last Thursday. I just posted those like an hour ago, so check that out. A lot of cool little clips, and if you want to watch the full version, you can do so on Greenkill's YouTube page, Greenkill Sessions, where you can also watch this video. Under the podcast section, to clarify from that mysterious voice in the background. That's all I have to say. Thank you all for still coming. And if you didn't catch the memo, I'm sorry that you can't read, because I made it very clear that we were still on for today. And, I did drive all the way out here, but whatever.
Hi. The first thing I'll say is it's March 25th. 2025, and that means I'm going to say, I might be butchering it, but Zito y Elada, which means Happy Greek Independence Day. In the Orthodox religion, March 25th marks the Annunciation, which is the time when the angel Gabriel comes down to speak to Mary and says that she's going to conceive Christ, the sacred messenger from the Most Holy Father, Absolute. And I'm going to read a couple things today. One will be the opening 2 paragraphs of a story I admire, by a Russian-Ukrainian writer named Gogol, who would wear his mother's dresses when he went to compose. Something else that Gogol did was burn an entire big fat manuscript that he had towards the latter part of his life, and he later commented that it was a trick of the devil. But who's to say? The other piece that I'll read will be 2 brief chapters that I'll try to read at like a decent pace, from what could be a novel called Good Country, White People. So here are the first 2 paragraphs of The Nose by Gogol. On March 25th, there took place in Petersburg, an extraordinarily strange occurrence. The barber, Ivan Yakovlevich, who lives on Voslanetsky Avenue, his family name had been lost, and even on his signboard, where a gentleman is depicted with a lathered check and the inscription, "Also bloodletting," there is nothing else. The barber, Ivan Yakovlevich, woke up rather early and smelled fresh bread. Raising himself slightly in bed, he saw his spouse, a rather respectable lady who was very fond of drinking coffee, take some newly baked loaves out of the oven. "I won't have any coffee today, Praskovaya Ospinova," said Ivan Yakovlevich. "Instead, I would like to eat a bite of hot bread with onion." That is to say, Ivan Yakovlevich would have liked both the one and the other, the coffee and the bread. But he knew that it was quite impossible to demand two things at once, for Praskovaya Ospinova very much disliked such whims. "Let the fool eat the bread. All the better for me," the wife thought to herself. "There will be an extra cup of coffee left." And she threw a loaf onto the table. That's all I'm going to read from Mr. Gogol's The Nose, which, not to ruin the story, but basically a paragraph later, she finds out that there's a nose of a respectable citizen that her husband cut off, a nose in the bread. And the nose ends up walking around St. Petersburg. What could Gogol have been trying to communicate to us? Anyway, here's some writing from yours truly, me, and it's chapter 3 and then chapter 4 of Good Country White People. "You got to jiggle the key in it," Anselmo said. The tractor spat a stream of black smoke like billions of noxious spores. Maurice pulled his shirt over his face. Across the Chautauqua Ridge, where the Algonquins once set fire watch, dawn stretched the long pine forest shadows to the fields, red, ochre, tangerine. The silent rush of morning mist lay over the fields like a faded blanket, assuring their inhabitants another day of madness. "It won't start for nothing if you don't jiggle it," Anselmo said. "I'm trying," Maurice said. "It's not starting." Up the gravel hill slope road, sunlight splattered the white eaves of the farmhouse. The dog watched them through the cracked window. The farm should have been a swamp. Ages ago, glaciers had sliced the highlands flat and deposited enormous pools of decayed vegetable muck in their sluicy wake. It seemed the pools were still draining. The soil was called black dirt, technically and colloquially. The government made it illegal to sell, or else the farmers there might have gotten rich. Locals found ways to make money off it anyway. The black dirt was so dense in nutrients it seemed you could drop a piece of marl in the mud and it would sprout green, veiny wings to fly away, if not sink to bottomless forever. South in Warwick, after the Revolution, no one could farm the drowned lands of Pine Island until Washington gifted acres of the swamp to Polish mercenaries who knew how to drain it, make it behave like Chernozem, the black earth of Ukraine, to supply onions to New York City markets. In the Pangyang, in the black dirt region of the Platte's Binnewater Divide, town of Lloyd, New York, certain 18th century Dutch settlers mistrusted the swampland and carved it out into a plot they called Little Rights. Anyone who stuck around for 20 years could keep it. A group of Quaker pilgrims from Litchfield, Connecticut, on the way to New Jerusalem, the Finger Lakes, and Penn Yan, to live in direct community of the public universal friend, settled their journey right there in Little Rights. Maybe the Dutch reluctance was wisdom. The Pilgrims dug ditches, drained the swamplands, and collected eels. But when no one broke up the beaver dams in the upper stream, and in storms, the irrigated tendrils flooded, crumbled the peninsular fields to broken islands, and returned the farmland to water. Rows of crops floated down the meandering stream to the falls, through the Black Creek, and to the Hudson. Some looming indifference to human endeavor haunted that land and the people who tried to tame it. Legends told of travelers on horseback gobbled by the mud passes. The ditches sunk inevitably. Every season sent men to their knees pulling weeds. Nature spoke in the innocent form of African nutsedge, razor-sharp almond grass that pierced the plastic landscape covers like flak through sky. The seeds of countless flora slipped through rips of tattered plastic. Stiltgrass, mugwort, mustard, milkweed, buckwheat, rose. You had to slice and tear through a weedy jungle to get to the crops, as though nature had imposed a tax in the local currency of sweat, human frustration. I saw farmers stick adhesive to the back of their salty caps to capture the buffalo gnats assaulting their skulls. There was a black, twitching horde on the back of Maurice's hat as he spoke. The key's not catching. Maybe it's the ignition. Sometimes if the spark plug, it starts when you make it start. You're not jiggling it. The tractor started and Anselmo told him to shut it off. The crickets let loose a racket. I need you to cut me some greenhouse greens for Beth before it gets hot, Anselmo says. They're due to bolt. Overlooking the hills and fields in the farmhouse Anselmo owned, the dog lay on the carpet in the sunlight under the sound of a vehicle coming down the drive launched him to furious barking at the squat men leaving the van. Manuel and Felix, Anselmo had said, equally are illiterate and never picked up English good. But they could work. They were men. Maurice watched them at the wash basin. They stood like gargoyles over a buttress, stripped rotten cabbage leaves, and pretended to be unable to understand. How you like your new boss? Anselmo asked them. In the fields a quarter-mile out, with the crickets and the hoppers and the mile-long rows of corn, Maurice, in his damp dirt-caked slacks, heaved 2 buckets and a wheelbarrow. One flat foot trudge squeezed past the next, the wheel carving a stiff, perfect line through the mud. There he began to sing to himself. He was a self-proclaimed socialist, and soon his back would begin to fold in on itself at the ripe age of 27. He called the farm Cantaloupe County because sometimes in late August, if they ran out of time to harvest and it rained too much, the back fields would burst with overripe cantaloupe, and their thick skins would split sweet juices, rot, and lay there until the fields simply ingested them. At the end of the first day, Anselmo inspected the crates. Not half bad. You might learn enough to compete with the Jamaicans in a year or two. With the Mexicans, too. Maurice swayed in the wind. Tomorrow you start again when the men arrive. I told Beth to take what she wants, so make up the crates in the high tunnel and tell the cavalry it's victory or death. The infantry is for the dogs, regardless. Today we fight. We give everything here and now, show them what a real man's made of. You hear me? It ends today. They want hell, we'll give it to them. We can put an end to this once and for all. You hear me? Maurice nodded. He was hearing things. I got to freshen up now, Anselmo said. That night, in the unfamiliarity of his new room, on his bed completely clothed and immobile, Maurice could hear through the walls the sound of bed springs creaking in Anselmo and Beth's room. In dreams, he watched a hen curl to sleep beside her headless lover, black chickens mauled by the dog. Then the neck of that same dog who greeted him with snarls hanging from a tree. Was it Anselmo or his own brother with a whip in hand? He hurled himself from the faceless sleep and sunk into the deep valleys of his steaming blankets, where the terror of black silence, ringing through the dramas of his mind, might overwhelm him less. The warm, wet sheets irritated his legs. Against the fear of the night, he launched furious invectives without expression or word. The sound of Anselmo's snoring pulsated to his room. It was then Maurice swore he would never cry again, never relinquish the trails of his thoughts for the sake of another man who deserved his take by accident, never for the sake of the pigs who paid him, never for the sake of the half-souled havers who demanded the body he would supply with honor, but he would never give up what he heard inside. So here's chapter 4, just another page. As long as you're living on the farm, you should learn to contribute, Maurice said, before I got to working. It's time to shoot rabbits. I'm vegan, I said. He ignored me, and I followed him to the basement where they kept the rifles. There was the safety, the scope, a way to hold it, and a way to carry yourself as you hold it, he told me. He demonstrated like a tin soldier. Then he put it in my hands and took his own. 2 tin soldiers. I was silent as a mime, following him down the fields to shoot grazing rabbits. The time before twilight under the eaves of the trees where we stood made me feel happy, rested, and alive. I had forgotten I could be alive. We looked out at the fields of cabbage and lettuce where they would scurry and at the paths abutting the crazy bushes. I looked for signs of rabbits on the edge of the bushes like he told me. But I liked the spotted jewelweed against the greens, the way their tubular roots clung to the black earth, the yellow primrose out the ditches, and the purple loosestrife erect in the sun. Orange, yellow, purple, black, green, almost alien, glowing, luminous. Then the shot rang out. It wasn't death, or the subsequent skinning, or the 7 leverets enclosed in the amniotic sac, but the quiet, simmering rage I realized he could transmute to stillness before the trigger rang that terrified me forever. The shadow of his perfect, monstrous poise someone like Goya would have wanted to witness that terrified me forever. That same responsive indifference to an impulse capable of rape, cruelty, the absolute sterility that incinerated Dresden, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Truth is hard to talk about because once you hold it up like it's something different from you, you change it, and it's not really truth or you anymore. That's the best way I could introduce you to me and my friend Maurice. He put so much of himself outside himself for the world to see. It took his offer and snatched him up until there was nothing left inside him worth the truth he paid for. I tried to stuff him full of true things he put outside again. Then I tried to take things out to clean and unclog him. You can't really unclog an Irish Catholic.
Thank you for letting me indefinitely borrow your version of the nose. And I'm sorry, I'm never going to give it back. It's a great story, though, if you ever want a fun read. And Gogol has been coming up a lot recently for me, too. I think it's interesting you brought him up. Yeah, very sensory. And then the second thing is, it is so fun to always hear the developments on that story. A little background, me and Peter were in the same creative writing program together, and we presented our theses together when we graduated from our master's program. And the first, I guess, draft or inklings of that story was his project. And it's been 3 years, 4 years, it's then 3 years, something like that. But yeah, so great to hear how it's developed, and I really love the voice that it has, that being yours. Next up to the stage, one of my personal favorites, Nick Collins. Welcome to the stage.
you.
Thanks, David. Thanks. And thank you, Nick. That was wonderful. We always miss you here. There's really nothing like an accordion. And not enough people play it anymore. What is that about? It's like the coolest instrument, genuinely.
Series of short poems that I've been working on lately. So most of them don't have titles, so I'll just leave a space, leave a time space in between them. A child's needs counted in lipstick boggles toward the village green, sleeps where silence leaks from the onions. On the road built by borax dancers, lonely burrows stand and wave. Picture yourself drone-drenched here, the chance of a lifetime in fresh fallen snow, popping up sooner than you'd believed. Magic wanders off one at a time, sleek and shouldering bells that recall Caesar's famous tremble. We watch as the famished fed thin soup are swept and burnt as evidence by the fiddling gods, mindful that the tune is paid for in plaid and scored by munitions with moth-like scents. Imagine it. In the quarried altar's razor calm, you slip as if into a veinous bath of images rushing in loose fragments. Only Houdini's handcuffs can bear fruit. You're melancholic, torpid, all but drunk under the spell of the bee's sweet endeavor. By nature, fist face down with spleen. Peat moss oversold, a whiteness painted to brighten the rails. Walking steady-handed, liken childhood to a circus act. Twists and tangerines opening windows, melodies exhaling oxtail soup. Imagine how late we are in the day, before us Nebuchadnezzar. The sounds swallowed hard. An anvil born bell tower small mistook as meaningful the eye folded under. Left meaning to be measured in quatrains by the chilblains. Artificial swords fight with hands holding hands. The inflated mandible can't help but strain its neck. I have two more of these. Where you left your body. To science, we say, it's too bad, forward progress, a life so short. The rest of the clan clings to downloaded stories that makes fun of the crown outside, waving signs back and forth, shouting. Blueberries in a season of arrows. Grandiloquent invocations, hours that swell under a punch clock's insistent drip. You force yourself head first into the future, carrying misremembered pasts, pasty face in the sodden glow. Clouds confirm that shadow looming over your shoulder, just out of sight is truly there. Thanks.
Thank you, Tim. Oh, I'm only a pair of eyes. Thank you, Tim. I promise it's authentic. Yeah, thank you for reading. It felt very early spring energy, which I am really channeling right now. Thank you for also the early summer blueberries, because I need that imagery right now too. Yeah, thank you in general for coming out and reading. Beautiful. Next up is H.E. Welcome to the stage.
Yes, I have a guitar. The hat is helpful actually to block the brightness. Little did I know. No. It has its own lights that go out towards you guys, is what they're referring to. Very good. Also, the blueberries made me think about, you know, like wintergreen, the little minty shrub, and it has these little red berries that are also a little minty. And if you find them in the winter and they're like a little frozen and you eat it, that's so good. So that's the winter blueberry option. But I'm going to play just a couple of songs that I made, I think maybe ones I made in the summer, and I haven't played that much, so we'll see if I remember them. Oh, yeah, I did bring a notebook with them written down, I'm remembering, but it's okay. I'm just going to go for it. Work through it. Yeah. God hijacked my GPS. God hijacked my GPS. Took the wheel, drove me up the mountain of the sun. Took the wheel, drove me up the mountain of the sun. And the prophet says, think not, I carry God in my heart, but rather I am in the heart of God. Well, the heart of God is rocky and steep. Glory be, knocked me down to my knees. Hopefully that wasn't on the camera he was using. Okay. Thank you. Me and my friend Lyra, we're traveling this summer, and that song doesn't actually feature goats, but the goats are also in that song, but all the songs are about goats that I made this summer, so I'm going to sing a more explicitly goat song now. Yeah. Coming down the goat's path, barely watching my step. Can I get my notebook? I forget the lyrics. Thank you, audience, for your patience. Okay. Oh, it's what I thought it was, of course. Coming down the goat's path, barely watching my step. Hotter than Venus's surface, looks pretty up ahead. Water glistens so glorious. Think of walking off the edge. Think of standing here forever. Think of kneeling down to pray. I don't mind that I don't know where I'm going. God shows me signs that I know are good omens. I lost my way, but not all of my way. I lost my way, but not all of my way. Can't tell if this path ended. Skin is slick to sweat. Not much water in my bottle. Sun is hot overhead. I see the skull of a kid by my feet. Tiny horns from its tiny head. Think to myself, if a kid could die here, I must be halfway dead. I don't mind that I don't know where I'm going. God shows me signs that I know are good omens. I lost my way, but not all of my way. I lost my way, but not all of my way. Can I do one more song? Okay. I can also stop then. Woo! Wait, which one? From the audience. No. Okay. Yeah, it is. Okay, I'll do another goat one, but this one I'll probably mess up even more.
Do whatever one you wanted to do.
I'll try that one. Just excuse that I'm not that skilled to begin with, and I haven't really been playing. So hopefully this will inspire me while my chips are being eaten. Okay, this one's called Buckland Billy. Sorry, I threw myself off there. I'm just gonna... Okay. Okay. Midnight.
Hold that note.
Keep holding it.
Night. The transition of that chord is just like, I'm going to mess it up every single time. So that's, yeah. Midnight full moon, goats are fucking, Capricorn is in the sky, and I can't sleep 'cause they are banging against the walls of my room tonight. Bells and balls are ringing, dogs are barking possessively, the whole cabin's quaking, feels like I'm out to sea. Buck Moon Billy, he runs, lustful as pan chasing sea. Sea ranks was. Buck Moon Billy doesn't sleep. I don't know why I keep messing that up. Digs his hooves in deep. Midnight full moon where I lay, but back home it's still yesterday. Stars still shine, still illuminate our sorry state. The old ass sprays, then gets out of the way, steps off the path so far astray into the rubble he has made. The whole house is quaking, my God, it should not exist. If old Billy'd listen, I'd ask him to ram it in. Buck Moon Billy, he runs, lustful as pan chasing sea rinks was. Buck Moon Billy doesn't sleep. Digs his hooves in deep. And then the hypothetical next verse is just me making like goat sounds. And I was supposed to have a little bell that I could, yeah, it's like, and then like, but yeah, that's it. Because that's actually based on truly the full moon of the Capricorn full moon over the summer. Me and Lyra, the second one, there were 2 that month. Crazy time. Big goat energy in the summer. We were staying in this tiny cabin on this like goat farm, and it was falling apart, truly falling apart. And the goats all night were just pounding into the wall, fucking, and it was crazy. And that was the night that Biden stepped down as president also. So
For our new performers, takes a lot to get on stage, so you nailed it, literally. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not funny. Thank you guys for laughing along. Yeah, thanks for performing. You were awesome. Couldn't tell that you hadn't practiced much either. Yeah, you didn't even need to say that, honestly, because it really spoke for itself. Up next is Lyra. Welcome to the stage.
Okay, I wrote this song a few years ago. And I haven't written many songs since. I'm taking a little break from writing songs, but I'm doing some other writing. But I thought it would be good to just prime the fingers again. So here we go. It's called Nighttime Noon. It's nighttime noon, my mind's on you. If I'm on yours, it's morning dew in this twin bed I've built for two. Well, I'm the hole and you're the screw. Wasting what's mine, all spent on your time. If I got some back, it'd be fine. Sometimes sinking's bound to bruise, but I'm the whole and you're the crew. Clinging on but fading fast, time's overdue to mow the grass. Tension builds but never lasts, 'cause in between is canyon vast. If we rush we might push through, but would that be a measured move? Don't trust me to be the one to choose. It's not like me to be afraid to be the fool. Sleeping in late, sun sets 4 and I miss the day. I know when you call me, you'll say, are you free at 10? We can go around again. I'm the start and you're the end. It's nighttime noon, my mind's on you. If I'm on yours, it's morning dew in this twin bed I've built for two. Well, I'm the hole and you're the screw. And then I'm gonna sing another short little thing that doesn't have a whole lot of lyrics, but is kind of, it's like a traditional tune almost, so it's fun to sing the same thing over and over again. But let me try and remember how it goes. Okay, I think this is the right key. Oh, my sailor on the sun, blessed by celestial wind, vessels on the run. I call to heaven, come home to me. Your silence is deafening on the endless sea. Caught in a sandstorm on dunes below, particles frolicking to and fro. Where did you come from? Why did you go? You left me deserted, yeah. You left me alone. Oh, my sailor on the sun, blessed by celestial wind, vessels on the run. I call to heaven, come home to me. Your silence is deafening on the endless sea. Oh, my sailor on the sun, blessed by celestial winds, vessels on the run. I call to heaven, come home to me. Your silence is deafening on the endless sea. Should I play one more? Yes. Okay. This is going to be an H move where I actually don't even know if I remember how. And it's your song. Wait. I might not remember how good. I don't remember the drag down, but I don't know the next part.
Just stop thinking. Go back down.
Yeah, I don't remember. Okay, wait. Oh. There we go. I'm gonna pull up the Shoo! Can I have my phone real quick? I'm gonna pull up the lyrics. You know what? I can't find them, so I'm just gonna see if I remember them. I think. Sure. Thank you. Okay, I'll go down this road. I've met the muse, still said hello to you. To know the truth, never stopped a fool. Take a risk or miss the action. Okay, I'll go down this road. I've met the muse, still said hello to you. To know the truth, never stopped a fool. Take a risk or miss the action. So I found myself at the bottom. If you've lost your mind, it's forgotten. There it is. You'll find it in time on the bottom. Just cast aside your empty face. I told you, you told me that sometimes you hate your friends. It made me wild. Forget the guy's child. I don't remember this line. Distance makes the top seem taller, but I'm no longer feeling smaller. I won't pretend, I won't extend. Now I'm flowing like I'm on water. Now I'm flowing like I'm. So I found myself at the bottom. If you lost your mind, it's forgotten. You'll find it in time on the bottom. Just lose yourself till you got it, till you got it. I don't remember any more of this song, but damn, this lick is so fun to play along. Thank you for listening to me. I should play the guitar more so I'm a little better. Here we go. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I love the audience collaboration too. Now it's my turn. I know you guys have all been waiting. No, I'm kidding. I have a few little poems. I'm gonna actually start with something that's not mine. I just started this book, William Blake, recently. Poems of his selected by Patti Smith. So, yeah, pretty cool. And I'm... Oh, hey, Phil. Just in time for me. Okay, so this first one I'm only going to be reading one of his, but I chose it because it's called To Spring, and as you all know, it's springtime, so I just thought this was, it fit, you know, we need to channel the spring, so I'm bringing the spring to you. This is William Blake's To Spring. O thou with dewy locks, who lookest down through the clear windows of the morning, turn thine angel eyes upon our western isle, which in full choir hails thy approach, O spring. The hills tell each other, and the listening valleys hear. All our longing eyes are turned up to thy bright pavilions. Issue forth, and let thy holy feet visit our clime. Come o'er the western hills, the eastern hills, and let our winds kiss thy perfumed garments. Let us taste thy morn and evening breath. Scatter thy pearls upon our lovesick land that mourns for thee. O deck her forth with thy fair fingers, pour thy soft kisses on her bosom, and put thy golden crown upon her languished head, whose modest tresses were bound up for thee. Thanks. Yeah, he's pretty good. I'm trying to channel some, traditional stuff. Because I read very, contemporary things usually. And I'm I really got to tap into the classics more. But I just wanted to read this one stanza, if you will let me, from this one poem that I really liked, called William Bond. I just really, really loved this stanza, and I wanted to share it. I thought love lived in the hot sunshine, but oh, he lives in the moony light. I thought to find love in the heat of day, but love, sweet love, is the comforter of night. Thanks. Yeah, channeling love. God damn it. Yeah, nothing more on that. Now I'm gonna read some of my stuff. Yeah, as some of you know, I read only new shit here, because I do this thing like every 2 weeks, so I'm kind of forced to. I mean, I'm not forced to, but like it's for myself, right? Okay, so this first one, I don't remember when I wrote it, but like a week and a half ago. It's called Hook, Line, Sinkered. 1. Popped something yellow, then relaxed. Took a break for a minute. Saw the step in the pause breaking towards it, said, wait, I'm not ready, said, it don't matter, we're going. I pulled up my socks and got going. Flopping along at a fine pace, not trailing too far behind, but not making much headway either. Falsetto, you said, and I swallow real hard. But it won't go down. It's all stopped up like a sink drain that's been collecting the pieces of what's left for ages. Broccoli buds and corn kernel skin, celery fibers and puddles of clumpy dairy, potato dirt, lemon essence, a fungal tapestry, a forested drain, a whole world in there, a whole damn world. 2. I flip through a book and get bored. Feel a buzz nearby and tingle all over, sensitive like a rabbited into sensuousness. Slap some peanutted butter all over it and wait for it to relax. Turn the light on, take a step back, look inside glasses and mugs placed in patterns on counters and finger their insides. See what's left. Brown and purple, magenta and fuzzy, coarse and indefinite. Think of how proud I am that I made it through all of them. Think that his fur got caught in my eyes and I stopped seeing right one day. Never the same again. Blame the fur, blame the buds, blame the kernels crawling cravenly, blame the open blinds and the setting skies, blame my dreams, my hopes, my epiphanies, blame lifestyle and coercion and dogs taking shits, blame Instagram, blame degenerates, blame all that good shit. Blame the stars, the wild look in their eyes, caught, imprisoned in the sky, and blame the darkness that surrounds them. Blame the glow they evoke, blame the way they form shapes and symbolize more than just space dust. Blame until you blame itself. Blame the blame it all. 3. And never ask stupid questions, and always remember that this year was always fated. You're not woo-woo for no reason. You're just searching for the final spoke in the pointed coronet of actualization. You see it comes from your mother's side, 60, 90, 100. All round, all even, all holding some weight, some significance. May I just hold your hand perchance, let you lead me into wing-pinned halls, glowing ruby in my veiny temporal eyes. Let it dissolve within me, yellow and sugared, a hole in my sock, near the base of me, that I pleasured, felt your need like skylark calling miles away and still resonating, for battled undressing. Shall I pop another, or wait for the waste to wear away the want of me? I journey to lands bespoke in your vision, fjord fallen filigree, lined with moss and varying shades of evergreen. Not simple with you, always deeply facsimile and protruding. Book worn by baseless bulges brained into being, but begotten in borrowed time. So I hesitate completely, and wait for lightning to strike directly over me. Thanks. Thank you. That one's fun, and I read it the other day at an open mic in Cold Spring, and there were kids there, and I was like, can I say the poop word? And the parents were all like, yes, they know that word. And I still said poop because I felt weird saying shit to these kids, but then I said shit anyways because there were 2 shits. Sorry, just needed to clarify about my shit conundrum. Okay. All right, my second poem, I only have 2 today because the rest of them are too much that I've wrote recently. But you didn't really need to know that, nor did you care. So, okay, thanks. Okay, second poem, Spun Myself Cylindrical. Spun myself cylindrical, and then I backtracked, halting in front of red lights that saw right through me as if I could help it. Laid bare on silver clanked and bleach smooth tables with all my morning readjustments just waiting to be critiqued. We lick the gravy off our fingers and I look into your eyes wondering why they look so different. How is it that you have changed when all you have done is care deeper, smile larger, grin bearing the sinuous threads of panic? I'm still motion sick on this leather couch, seeing how agreeable I've become, but how little this has done to aid in my development. I uncap towards pacificity, jailbreaked my stolid organ of progeny, not the one you inserted gold in, but the one pumping it out of me. Like a creature craving play at the wrong time of day, I hurt myself to toggle between polarities, one sacrificial and the other near insanity, crying for a breakthrough, creeping up me, vine like and undeterred by infestation, these molecules absorbed unrelentingly, for a chance at tranquility, like lily-coated pond off green bank of spring, dressed in thin linen frock and twirling a daisy in my fingers, tilting to and fro, like the earth falling off its axis. Thanks. Was there anyone else who wanted to come up on the stage? Yeah. You're up. Okay, amazing. Next up and finally is Phil Erner. Welcome to the stage.
I want to thank David for the space, Robyn for emceeing and reading to us, and anybody else who had to do with tonight. I know Summer normally is the co-MC. We'll go with that. Abolish the rent. Yeah, snaps to that, snaps to the... Learn more tomorrow night, National DSA Call. Los Angeles often shows us the future of the whole country. As the United States incorporated LA's territory, annexing Mexico and ethnically cleansing the Tongva people, for whom the land was home for 7,000 years, the city innovated legal settlement and subjugation. More than half a century before land values became a central business of urban centers everywhere, LA's boosters were divvying downtown parcels to flip, inspiring a literary and film genre, noir, to describe real estate's political influence. Already, by the 1950s, Los Angeles imprisoned more people than any other city in the United States, which itself imprisoned more people than any other country in the world, as it still does today. Now, Los Angeles shows us the future of housing inequality. Should we allow our capitalist housing system to continue unabated? 2 years ago, our city boasted the world's most expensive home, a $340 million mansion, complete with 5 pools, 42 bathrooms, and a moat, while 5 unhoused tenants died on our streets each day. In 1980, LA earned the title of Homeless Capital of America. We still claim the largest number of unsheltered people, but perhaps Los Angeles will play the part of the future for housing revolution, for beating back exploitation and domination, for undoing the rent relation itself. To learn more, read this book. I just finished Slow Down. Seen this one? By Kohei Saito. Came out 2020, translated into English in 23. We have 4 choices, 4 futures. This is on page 66. We can continue on the current path to climate fascism. We can wind up in a state of barbarism, a war of all against all. That's if the state becomes so weak and yet equality remains elusive as ever. Or we can take the path of strong state power toward equality and end up with a sort of climate Maoism. There's a 4th possibility, and it is called degrowth communism. Our ancestors knew this. Karl Marx knew this, although he's not remembered for it, and he learned it only after Capital. But degrowth communism at once will, and is the only thing that will, enable us to escape the climate catastrophe and the catastrophe of inhumanity that we face. Now, what are the 5 immediate, tangible steps we can take toward degrowth communism? 5 steps. The first pillar, transitioning to a use-value-based economy. The second, shortening work hours. The third, abolishing the uniform division of labor. The 4th, democratizing the production process. And finally, prioritizing essential work. We've seen the revolt of the caring classes. We saw it during the worst of the COVID pandemic starting in 2020. We saw it when teachers rose up to say, our job should be about educating our students, and the people who received the care and were giving the care made common cause. That's what we need to do, people. We need to come together as producers and consumers and say we need to produce less crap and have fewer bullshit jobs. And everybody gets to have a job that they feel great about and that liberates them and that liberates all of us. So you can read this and learn more. Thank you. Okay, who's ready to dance? Okay, stand up, make some room, move the chairs.
Just letting you guys know. I know it's really appealing. No, thank you though. And I really want to read that first book. It looked super interesting. Actually, I'm writing an article today. I'll just be super brief for my job, my journalism job, about affordable housing and what it means when someone says affordable housing, because any housing can be affordable for someone, right? Like a mansion can be affordable for someone, but that doesn't mean it's quote unquote affordable housing, obviously. So I was talking to really great local resource Pattern for Progress about this problem, and I was like, what does this mean? Why is there nothing online about what is the affordable rent for the area median income in Ulster County? I'm just curious, and just got me thinking about that. Moral of the story is I still don't know, so I'll get back to you guys if I figure that out. But it's pretty low. The affordable rate is pretty low because people don't make a lot of money. Yeah, and that's another problem. For a single family house, it's $78,000. But the thing about AMI, area median income, is that it's really not an accurate way of representing income, because if there's 2% of the population that makes over like $700,000 a year, it's gonna really make that number go up. So it's really hard to say if that is true or if that's accurate. But that is technically the area median income in Ulster County for one person households. Like, really interesting, riveting stuff, right? But yeah, if you're interested in reading my article, I guess check out this week's issue of the Shwangung Journal. But yeah, thanks, Phil. Always great to have you. And thank you to everyone else who came and performed and listened and joined in our little dance. That was lovely. And next event. Oh, get ready for this one. Next event is also a brand new thing for White Noise. We're collabing with a new magazine in Kingston called Mind Magazine. You may have met one of them. Actually, you did. Lyra is the co-founder, of Mind Magazine, and we're gonna be hosting their launch party, which is super exciting. So it's a magazine of, a lot of local writers and not as local, but kind of local, artists, and it's really cool. And I'm also a part of it, so that's pretty awesome. Submission based. There you go. And you're gonna learn a lot more about it. Friday, April 11th. It's going to be a whole party here, guys. Like, there's no reason not to come. We're giving you free food, drinks. It's going to be cute. We're going to decorate, and we're going to be at his throat, making it all cute. No, I'm kidding. He loves it. Yeah, it's going to be awesome, and we really hope you guys can come. It's going to be Friday, April 11th at 7 p.m., and there's going to be issues of the magazine to purchase, and you can learn more about the magazine and just be around really cool, inspiring people, which is really what this event is all about. So yeah, thank you guys for coming. White Noise signing off.